Alright, quick goofy button tutorial. Not sure how fantastically this is going to turn out, but what is going on? This is probably sort of the easiest way that I can think off the top of my head to make a button. So I'm going to start out, as weird as it sounds, with a plane. It occurs to me that I could also use one of these little disc things. I'm just, like, usually less of a fan of the topology for these, but there's no, like, honestly particular reason for that, so we'll just do this with both and show you how you might approach it either way. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a few subdivisions into this, and I'm going to assume that this is going to be a 4-hole button. So I would like 4... I'm going to use these little squares for the holes, so I would like 4 holes per button, or like a 2x2 cube, and I'm going to make this 10 subdivisions. Just so that everything is sort of evenly laid out. Run back in, grab my little squares. This is still weirdly off-center, but whatever. I probably just, like, did something stupid and didn't, like, added an extra subdivision or something weird. So now we have our button, which is clearly slightly misshapen, but the heck with it. So I'm going to go through and, oop, wrong button, just grab all of the insides of these and circularize them. So these are going to be our little button holes. Ah! Hello. And obviously, if you wanted to do a 2-hole button, it's more or less the same basic principle. I'll also circularize the outside, and I will go through. I don't know if this particular part is going to work. We're going to find out. Okay. Not the worst thing ever. I'm going to do an edit mesh average vertices just to sort of like, I don't need that to be perfectly circular, I just want it to sort of line up more or less with the button. And I'll also do an average vertices on the inside here. And then I'm going to do my dreaded soft select. Dear God, what is happening? Oh, whoops, sorry, that's doing the average vertices. Hello. Clearly my soft select radius is insane right now, so I'm just gonna, oh, great, make that slightly less insane. So I actually normally don't super like soft select for stuff like this, but in this case it's just a quickie button, so I'm not overly concerned about it. Okay, that looks awful. Soft selection, I'm gonna do, where's the thing? I'm just gonna set it to be linear. That's also not what I want. There's a specific one in here that I'm looking for, and I can legitimately never remember which one it is. It's very irritating. Alright. Blah. I don't like any of these options. Alright, whatever. So I'm just gonna leave this flat for now, honestly. If you want it lumpy, make it lumpy later. So I'm just gonna go ahead and extrude the edge. And what this is gonna do is just give me a nice little ring where I can sort of harden the edges. So I'm going to assume actually that this is going to be a smooth model, where you smooth it with the 3 key. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that little edge loop in there because I know I'll need it. Extrude that again, and you can see that we smooth it, and just go ahead and extrude this up. And now we have a goofy little button. At this point you'd probably want to go through and like actually give the entire thing a little bit of depth to it. So you can just do that fairly easily by extruding the whole thing down and then deleting these edge loops. Were I planning ahead, I could have just not added those edge loops to begin with, and that probably would have made my life a bit easier. And then if you need these to be harder edges, what you can do is pretty much the same thing, where you go through and just extrude them, push them in a little bit, because you always want those 3 edge loops. That's going to give you the nicest, sort of most accurate, smooth results. I have absolutely no idea why my display is being insane. And I will go through and mesh display reverse that. I think I've done something very strange to this. But you can see, so now it's like the underside. Now we have a goofy little button, which clearly I've done bad. Oh, that's why I had an extra loop, because this is 2 units away, and this is 1. Haha, that explains so much. So that's how I would make like a pretty basic button. And again, you can do more or less the same thing with this, except I find that these are like a little bit harder to sort of lay out most of the time, so I'm maybe just going to go ahead and grab sort of these 4 things, question mark. I have not planned this out. This is an entirely weird impromptu tutorial. Circularize those. Good lord. This is the one thing that sometimes circularize is really weird. It'll like really like push your geometry in like really strange directions. So I'm just going to go back and sort of rotate that so it's a little bit less completely insane. Again, we have pretty much the same thing we did last time. So I think starting out with a grid is probably easier if you need 4 or 2 buttons, whereas this, if you happen to... I've never seen a 3-hole button like this, honestly. To be fair, I don't look at a lot of buttons. I'm actually just going to go through and harden this entire thing as I go. So I've never seen a lot of 3-hole buttons, but I think this weird little quad plane thing would be the easiest thing to work with if you did need a 3-hole button. So, some buttons. Huzzah. Hopefully that was useful.